So today I want to have a look around the Tate Britain and give you some of my personal highlights, because I'm seeing a lot in contemporary with inspiration from pre-Raphaelites in stuff like Taylor Swift's new music video, The Fate of Ophelia, to this picture personally reminds me that it could be Florence Welch. It's actually by a John Singer surgeon and it's of Lady Macbeth. What I love particularly about this is probably because of my fashion background, but it's the iridescence of the jewels sequins on there, and it's actually beetles. When you look around it with the actual just a setting, it just really stands out for me. And this is where I was saying about the beetle kind of sewn into the actual dress. It's got this such strong presence and it actually feels like it could be very contemporary now. I'm going to show you a picture of the Dance Fever promo tour by Florence and the Machine with Florence Welch, and you'll see what I mean. It's got a very similar kind of energy which ties in together. Also moving on to Taylor Swift, where it is the Ophelia, the Fate of Ophelia. This is also a reference to one of the most famous paintings of Sir John Everett Miller's in the Tate Britain as well, which you can see and everyone sees. This actually, I know people are talking about that, but I feel like people are forgetting, and maybe it's just my age showing me, but it very much reminds me also how this has influenced contemporary music with Nick Cave and Kylie Minogue, with Where the Wild Roses Grow, which I'm going to show you just here, and I would recommend watching that video if you do get the opportunity. Now, going away from contemporary settings influenced by pictures, I just wanted to show you one of my favourites. This is by Turner, and it is just so tragic with the actual body strewn along the horse. It's like it's going to war. Is it to do with like Horsemen of Apocalypse? It's just got this fiery everil of flames which are coming from where the sun would be within the clouds, and just the texture. I just feel Turner really excites me, but for this time he feels so contemporary, and this is a piece of it now which is in the Tate Britain, and it sits next to a Constable piece which is not my particular style, but I still can appreciate that they work together well. And what I am looking forward for is it's kind of going to be a Turner versus Constable exhibition coming soon in the Tate, which I can't wait to actually see. Moving on to one of my favourite artists now, Tracey Emin. This particular piece, I think if I'd have looked at it years ago I would have actually enjoyed it as much as I do now, but it's become almost like a time capsule. And it's got all these cut out bits from papers and stuff where you can see fish and chips and the wedding dresses of the times, down to Madonna, which I'm obsessed with, down to stuff like references to Princess Diana and Margaret Thatcher, and just all these other kind of cutouts of that kind of time. It was apparently on the last night of the shop, the famous shop that she had with Sarah Lucas, and what I really adored is with this time capsule they had this actually placed, and even now I'm just smiling where I can see like Cilla Black and the other person. I'm going like, oh, I would know him on the tip of my tongue. It's probably going to be things that will remind you as well while you're looking at these close-ups, and I do hope you're enjoying as much as I did. And I would definitely say have a look and go and see that in the actual Tate. That's the date of the last day of the shop, so 3rd of 7th 1995. And I was just about to mention that this piece is actually opposite, which I think is quite fabulous, is Sarah Lucas's Inferno. So you just have to spin round and you will be able to actually see her counterpart who would have done the shop with her at the time. This is 10 Downing Street in John Major, so it's really just taking you back to that kind of era, and for me I was a child then. It's amazing how much I've picked up, and this feels very nostalgic on this kind of corduroy fabric. So there you will see Damien Hirst's Pharmacy and Chic, but this is what I was mentioning was the Inferno by Sarah Lucas, and this is another one I also really do enjoy. Sometimes when I've got a bit of a sensitive tummy, not so much sometimes. it's a kind of one where I'm not ready to look at that today, and sometimes I really do enjoy it. It's a really interesting how my emotions always play with this particular piece. But here are some of the pieces I personally just loved looking at in the Tate Britain, and I always love because you can go there and certain bits do change, like the Emin pieces do. And then now I can see we're moving on to Hockney. One thing is I really love is when Hockney got to this point of his life when he moved to LA, and how he started to actually express his actually queerness within his paintings. And then just to end the room on Rothko, which also has Turner, which I will give a link to the previous video I've done before this. Tell me what's your favourite room, and thank you for watching.